Good morning and welcome to Elisa Maria Designs and welcome to Self-Care Sunday. I am right here getting my coffee and showing you how I make my own churro with some vanilla syrup and cinnamon and some fresh brewed coffee from Dunkin' Donuts. And yes, I am doing that right on top of my diamond painting. These are the things that I do pre-coffee. It's actually Sunday, early Sunday morning, and evidently we have sprung forward, and I had no idea. It's still dark here, even though it's around 5:45. Well, it's 5:45, but it says 5:45 on my stove, and I'm here with Fufi, just having a cup of tea. This video is something really different for me. I just had the video playing while I worked on my winter fox. There is an upload to this video without the voiceover. I found it very calming to, just as I was watching it, just to have these subtle background noises of the coffee, and Fufi makes an appearance, and just, you know, diamond painting quietly, that I decided to not only use this for my Self-Care Sunday, but also to upload it with just its natural sound in the background. There's Fufi, a little Fufi alert right there, little unicorn. And I will get you close to the section that I decided to do here. I am just giving you an overview of how big this painting actually is and where I am with it. For those of you that don't know, I did start in the middle. I did start in the part that I wanted to get done first. And I was moving through this painting in a way that was more natural to me. Now I'm filling in the perimeter. And I'll tell you, this painting, I talk about it all the time. It just really makes me so happy. It's just so beautiful. There are various pieces of washi tape on this painting that keep falling off, because I have to keep rolling and re-rolling this painting because someone has decided to nibble on my canvas and nibble at the washi tape. And I believe maybe I show you, I love that section right there. I'm actually pointing it out. Yes, I love that section. I believe I show you the little nibbling that I found as I decided to just move up this side of the painting. Yes, there it is. Yeah, he eats my washi tape. So the border that I had created for myself with washi tape is not there. The sections that I cut out for myself, and that's why there's so many different types of washi tape on this painting, because I'm running out of washi tape. I've decided to do that section right there, and so I'm going to set up and get ready to diamond paint. And I decided on doing the top of his head. I know I pointed out my coffee cup to you a few seconds ago, and I love that cup. I got that at Pier 1, and it matches this painting perfectly. My washi tape may not complement the painting, but my coffee mug sure does. I also keep out my iPad. I'm just taking a sip of my tea on the painting because, you know, diamond painting is a very meditative practice. And if you have the time to just be with yourself and diamond paint, I think that for me, I get these I kind of work through whatever is going on. Foofy alert. I kind of work through whatever is going on, you know, at the time, stuff. And I'll either grab my journal, and knowing that I was doing a self-care Sunday and I knew what I was going to be talking about, and so I'll let you in on that. It was actually the reading I did on Saturday morning from Book of Awakening, and I'll do that a little bit more organically, letting you know how that reading became a self-care Sunday. I had not picked that book up in a while. And again, there's Mr. Foofy. And so I keep my iPad close by to just like jot down some notes, which I did when I did tell my husband, hey, I'm going to be doing a different type of self-care Sunday. I'm just going to diamond paint and see what happens. And this is what's going on here. Foofy is, you know, where's my treats? What are you doing? He likes to be a part of my diamond painting, as you can tell with the puncture marks that he made in this painting. But I had told my husband, you know, I'm going to be downstairs and I'm going to be diamond painting for about an hour, just quietly. And so he's like, great, I'm going to practice. But, you know, of course, and I think I'm going to keep it in. You know, he does interrupt me. For those of you that have channels and you know, you make that request to your family, hey, I'm going to be diamond painting. Can I get a little quiet? And they manage to, you know, interrupt. Hey, can I come down? Can I ask you a question? So I think I kept that part in. I also want to give you an alert, and I'll give you another one as it approaches, because I freeze the video that Foofy decided to jump on my piano when I was not really paying attention to him popping up along the side of the video. He decided to jump on my piano, and he has never done that, and he scared the bejesus out of me. And I believe I kept that in too. He saw the washi tape, so he thinks that that's his and he wants it. I believe that most of these notes I did Saturday morning. I got up at about 4 a.m. Had a lot of things on my mind. I haven't done a self-care Sunday because energy has been a little bit of a missing element in my life post-COVID, and also like stringing thoughts together. And I do enough and like in my videos, and it's been really a challenge to like have that triple fold and hear myself speak on camera. I did another video. I haven't put it up yet. I don't know that I will because I'm further along in the painting here, but I did another video during the week. And you know, again, it's like energy is just a problem post-COVID. I am getting out the drills that I will be using for this little square here. Quite a few, and I know I put the kit away, and I know that I actually go back and get a few more. And what was funny about this section was that it seemed every container that I opened only had the right amount of drills in there. And I was like, well, is anything gonna go right today? But I do get through the painting without having to get the crinklies out and restock my drill container. Quite a few. And I love the palette on this painting. There is a container that stumped me because there were two colors mixed in, and I cut that section out. I couldn't determine what the other color was, and it was actually black, if you want to believe it. Because there's some deep chocolate browns in this painting, and it was black. And there's not a lot of black in this painting. And I've said this before about this painting. Look how cute that little mug is. I just love that little foxy mug. There's not a lot of black in this painting for being a winter scene. And I love it. It's just really used to outline the trees and the little nose on the fox. And I will be getting you closer into that section once I get the first color down. So what are we talking about today on Self-Care Sunday? We're 10 minutes in. Well, I guess when I was diamond painting, I had been a part of a situation that kind of got out of control, and it was still on my mind while I was diamond painting. And excuse me, I'm just getting a sip of tea here. And as I said, that's where I keep my journal or my iPad handy for moments where I have things on my mind, and the diamond painting becomes a different type of meditative experience. If there's something on my mind, I find that I can calmly examine it as I diamond paint and capture any thoughts I have on the issue on my iPad or journal. And maybe, you know, there are times that I dive into it at that moment, and times that I just like put it on the side and kind of look at it, not with my, artist way writing, because that's more stream of consciousness. So I'm not going to go back to a topic and write about something that I jotted down, where, you know, the artist way is more, you get up and you write whatever is floating on the top of your brain so that you can get to the juicy parts. So you can see where the diamond painting and the artist way have two different approaches to getting to the same thing. You know, you diamond paint, you set up, you do your, you get your drills out, you know, you do all these things. Kind of like when you're stream of consciousness writing, it's not making any sense. You're just writing what's on the top of your head, and you're just, you know, getting it all out. And so eventually you can get to the meat of the experience, which is the flow of the writing, the flow of the diamond painting, and get to the heart of the matter. But I just wanted to go back, you know, with the whole energy thing. The reason why I had not done a self-care Sunday in a while is because, you know, my regular subscribers know I had COVID, and I'm dealing with the after effects of COVID, and one of them is energy. And I was really grateful to be able to, you know, piece this together, to get up at 4 a.m. and say, hey, this is where energy is striking. I'm going to go down and I'm going to write some notes for Self-Care Sunday, or you know, get whatever's on my mind, and instead of rolling around in bed and being restless. I also had not did anything with my reading, spiritual reading also. I think that I was relying on Book of Awakening. It's an easy grab because it's a daily reading. And yeah, so I did grab my Book of Awakening, and that happens when I'm kind of perplexed about how the situation is taking me. I've learned a few things about my energy. I've learned how to protect my energy, how I spend my energy, how I restore my energy. And my energy expense is monitored very carefully so that I have the time to do all the things. And And maybe you're like this too. What happens though when our time and energy are expensed for situations that are either out of our control or become out of our control? How do we respond? How do we react? There is a difference between the two. And reacting takes no time at all. Reacting goes from 0 to 60. And reacting does not let go and often has regrets. Whereas if we respond, and responding comes from a totally different place. Responding takes its time. Responding chooses, and it stays centered. But what they both have in common, of course, is energy. It takes energy to do both. It takes energy to stop yourself so you can choose, so you can stay centered. So it's either a fast flame with the reacting, as we know, the 0 to 60 is a fast flame, or a slow burn. Well, at least that's the way I have experienced energy. And I do think that these self-care Sundays are a little bit of a, not a little bit, they can be a big accompaniment, a companion to your own journey. So as I was saying, I became part of a situation that got out of control. And I was already in a situation that I really didn't want to be a part of. And that was going somewhere that I didn't really want to go after having COVID, not wanting to be in a place with a lot of people. But my husband had bought tickets to a comedy show for a comedian that we love, and I have talked about on this channel, Nate Bargatze. And, but you know, this weather this week has been really sucky. It's still pouring, raining here this morning. I am actually in my little foyer of my home waiting for the sun to come up, and it is pouring, raining. It's very wet and cold this weekend, a lot of flooding. And it was like that all week. And we're not far from the venue that he was performing at, so we walked. And again, I was having a little bit of anxiety and trying to get out of my head and enjoy the experience. But it became a long evening. We were there for 7, and you know, Nate is a great comedian, a clean comedian. So if you want to check him out, any of his little videos on YouTube, he just did a stint with SNL, Saturday Night Live. And I understand this. You've hit the big time and you're bringing your other comedian friends along with you. And so Nate was not on the stage at 7 o'clock. 3 of his friends had little, were asked to open up his act for him. And so it was closer to 8:30. And I was like, oh, okay, we're going to a 7 o'clock show. We'll be done at 9. And, you know, I just found my energy petering out, but I was trying to hang in there. You know, something like that to begin with me has always been, if I go to a concert or a party, loud noises, lots of people, I need to find the time after post-party, post-concert to recoup, to restore my energy. It does take a lot out of me. I don't, you know, yeah, it just does take a lot out of me. And, you know, the situation got out of control, and I don't really know that other than it just being still on my mind, is like diamond paint. I don't know that I really want to. You can't control other people and how they're going to react. All you can do is just, you know, take care of yourself and how you react to a situation. And, you know, this is a big venue. We know a lot of people. We ran into a lot of people. And, you know, there was a situation that just got, you know, alcohol is involved. Something else that I have not been doing. Probably why I got COVID, because I did a lot of tequila during the pandemic and just felt fearless and bulletproof. That was, you know, what do you call it? Like your lucky charm, that it was preventing. You know, tequila is natural. It comes from the agave plant. It's medicinal. It's a muscle relaxer. It's great if you have a headache, which someone told me that a while ago, that was very into natural remedies. And they were like, you know, have a little bit of tequila if you have a migraine, and it'll help, you know, with the blood flow and, you know, knock your headache out. And I just thought, that's crazy, but it works. So this situation was kind of still on my mind. And sometimes the calm, objective reflection of a situation requires, for me, as I just said, a spiritual reading. It never fails me. I kind of was going around in circles with, you know, my own response to the situation. And it was probably because, again, I'm metering out my energy. The night is taking longer. It had not even started, and I thought it would be winding down. And so I have also been very weepy, and I just seem to be, you know, crying very easily, and then I'm getting myself angry at that. And I had a very important date this week that marked the anniversary of an experience of mine, and I had just totally forgot it. And so, like, that's something else that is working on my psyche at the present time, you know, just forgetting things and being short-tempered, and you know, having to meter out my energy more carefully than I ever have in the past, being easily exhausted, needing more time to recuperate. And so, yeah, you know, if it were you telling me these things, I would be your champion. I would tell you to be kind to yourself and find resources that may help. I did speak with my doctor and told him, you know, what I'm going through post-COVID, and he was, you know, he's just looking, well, I can give you this to boost your energy, or I can give you this if you're feeling down. And I'm like, I don't want a pill. I just want somebody to say, yes, you know, I understand. I understand that this is what you're going through, and, you know, be kind to yourself and take it easy and take naps, and, you know, you're going to come out the other side. But no one can give you that reassurance, it seems. Like, my husband does, but he doesn't know. I'm like, how do you know? Like, I'm going to come through this? And I'm weeping and crying all over again. And so I just decided that during my diamond painting that I needed to get back to my spiritual reading, because that kind of fell to the wayside also, and it just never fails me. There are books I rely on for clarity, and the Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo never lets me down. I can open up to the day. On this particular day, it was Saturday, March 8th. And I know some of you have gone out and gotten the book. And so if you wanted to follow along with me, it was the reading from Saturday, March 8th, Sometimes I will grab a book. Again, I rely heavily on Book of Awakening. And I might just sit with it in my hands, in my lap. I might close my eyes, take two or three deep breaths, center myself, and open the book just at a random space. Ask for that section to be revealed to me, to have my eyes see something that I need to read. Trying to shed a little bit of light by opening up to a random page and hopefully finding an answer or getting closer to it. And this situation, I was just angry and snapping and, snapping at John, and, he works really hard, and I know that he wants to be able to go out and relax, and he has a ton more energy than I do. I mean, I don't even know how he does it. Like, when you are a person that is, very in tune with your own energy, you kind of do examine other people. And like, John can go out and John can, be loud and boisterous and be around music and people and drink and, have a great time. And then, just get up the next morning and go to work, like a few hours of sleep. And so I guess, like, this situation that I had no control over. I have no control when the comedian is going to hit the stage. I have no control over when my energy is going to get back to normal. And I'm leaving a big part out, our seats. So we decided that we were going to walk around the venue. We could still hear the comedians that were on stage. We were going to walk around the venue, and we were going to stand. We weren't going to take our seats until Nate was ready to be introduced. And when we got to our seats, we were in the wrong section, of course. I let the technology up to John, and he had the tickets on his phone. And of course, he's rushing to get to the seat, and we're in the wrong seat. And I thought that we were like in an aisle, and we had to get out of that section. We had to walk down the steps and go around the other way. And when we got to our section, we were like in the middle of the aisle, and the people there were like 7 people that you would have to literally climb over, because none of them were getting up to say, "Oh, are you these 2 seats, here? Well, let us get up and get you in." Because if you've ever been to a Vadium, a sports event venue, you kind of know you're sitting in your seat, and the seats in our venue don't go up when you stand up. They still remain down. So you're standing, but you only have a foot's worth of space. There's no space for anyone to really get by you. You have to get out of the aisle. And these people were looking at us like the comedian wasn't on stage yet. It was the break in the show where you can get up and go to the bathroom, or, get into your seat. And they were just sitting there. And John was like, "Go ahead, go in." And I'm like, "I don't want to climb over everyone." I'm like, and I'm speaking to the people in the aisle. They have like big pints of drinks and popcorn, and I'm already tired, and I'm having a panic attack. And I'm like, "I don't want to climb over everyone." He's like, yeah, go ahead. And he's kind of like nudging me in, because he knows that they're not moving. And they're kind of like, it's kind of like, "Oh, they're sitting here. Like, we thought these 2 seats were going to be free." I mean, what difference does it make, really? And they're not moving. And I'm like, I'm not climbing over everyone's, like, literally everyone's knees. And we were in the top section, and, the venue kind of goes on an incline, and the vertigo was starting to set in. And I just became very weepy and agitated. and angry. And I'm like, I'm not climbing over all these people. I'm just not climbing over them. And they're not getting up. They're just not getting up. They're going to sit in their seats. And it's like, if you want to get to your seats, well, then that's what you're going to have to do. And it would have been very awkward. I probably would have fell. I didn't know how I was going to, I could have scaled the side of a cliff easier than climbing into my seat. And I turned around and walked away. And John was like, Elisa, you know, come back. Like, I'll go in first. Like, I'm going to get everybody up. And I'm like, no, forget it. I'm already crying. And so we stood off to the side. And, you know, I'm boiling at this point that, you know, John bought a lot of tickets for, it was like 3 comedians that we watch on YouTube or on Netflix are coming to Philadelphia, one right after another. And, you know, Nate was like sold out and the tickets that we had weren't very good. And I would have just said, no, I'm not going to, you know, ask John to sit in this high section and sit in the middle of this aisle. And we kind of know what that's like. And he's not feeling well. And so like I'm spiraling out of control at this point. I'm thinking of all the injustices that are being done to me over this show. So you know, it left me angry. I kind of, you know, anger eats up a ton of energy, just the heat produced in the mind and body, if you're like me. And on a good day, pre-COVID would have left me depleted and exhausted. So that has been on my mind for the past couple of days, the way that I chose to react and not respond. But, you know, again, there are pre-existing conditions to me not feeling like myself, or, you know, rising to the level that I like to rise as a person. And so I feel like I failed my partner and I failed myself, and it has been bothering me. And I don't know why how really, or why I have this type of framework around energy. I just know that I do, and maybe you do too, or maybe if you were anything like me before, or maybe this is like sounding a bell for you, because I know for me when I was younger, and you know, this has always been with me, but at that time when I was younger, I just didn't understand it. So maybe this is sounding a bell for you, to explore. You know, what is my energy like? Is this why maybe I feel like, you know, short-tempered or anxious, or because, you know, having a lack of energy, if you don't understand your energy, can bring up all sorts of things that you can easily remedy, where you don't have to rely on like my doctor was like, oh, you know, you're down on energy. Do you want me to give you some Adderall? I'm like, no, I don't want Adderall to get through my day. I want you to tell me something else, you know. Just I didn't want to complicate things with another medication. So anyway, so it is a deep dive, and I've spent a lot of time with self-examination of my behavior and reaction. I'm going to take a sip of tea here. When I was wandering about, unaware of why I was reacting to most things around me, when others seemed to be coasting, that feeling can be very isolating. And isolate is what I did. And sulk, you know. I would stew in my reactions to the world around me and dwell in negative self-talk. You know, no one understands me, no one cares, are the thoughts that would bombard me. And, you know, I'm just better off being alone, you know. Everyone else is having a good time and they just kind of coast through life. So that's why, you know, I'm saying, you know, maybe this is sounding a bell for you. And, you know, my experience can shed some light on that for you. You might have an easier time than I did. You know, thankfully, you know, after I got done sulking and bombarding myself with a lot of negative self-talk and knowing that that's not working either, thankfully I am and I have an explorer for a spirit who asks a lot of questions. And that's another question to ask yourself. You know, what type of spirit do you have in these types of situations? It's a good place to start your journey. I explore to understand, and I explore to find answers. My self expedition took me on some wild safaris of my mind and deep excavations of my heart. And you, if you decide to go on this journey of self-exploration of yourself and how your own behaviors and reactions come into play, you will come to find out that you lean deeper into one or the other, into the mind or into the heart. And it depends on, it will be an easy answer. It'll be the one or the other will be the one that makes the choices for you. You know, does your heart make choices for you? Does your mind make choices for you? And that may change, you know, after you do some exploration. Mine's was at that time that I was just wandering about, not knowing why I was, you know, feeling misunderstood and lost in the world. It was the heart, you know. I was so full of emotion. And now I refer to that emotion as passion, you know. My heart led the way in a lot of situations when it should have been sitting things out. That's for sure. It should have been benched. But the heart, and this is something I learned through my yoga practice. Again, another book, Tias, T-I-A-S, Little, wrote a fascinating book on the body. And I love his exploration into the heart. And he kind of explains the heart as a type of cave. Where it holds memories and desires and passions and heartbreak in all different sections of the heart, you know, in all different alcoves of the heart, the top of the heart, the middle of the heart, the back of the heart. And if you're going to take a walk through the heart, grab a lantern, because it is like going through a cave. The deeper you go, the darker it gets, just like any cave. And that part of the heart, all the way in the back, holds all the stuff that we maybe didn't want to look at the time it came up. The heartbreak, or the things that were just too heavy for us to bear at the time, you know. And so it doesn't disappear because we push it to the back. And maybe for good measure, we put a lot of stuff on top of it too, you know, just to keep it down. But the heart is strong and the heart is resilient. It breaks, yes, but it comes back together. You can't just stuff back there. You can do that with a closet, but you don't walk around and live your life carrying around your closet. You carry around your cave, though, you know. You carry around these things with you that may, and they do, not may, they do say, you know, hey, I'm all the way here in the back of the line. Is it time now for you to do some exploration here on me? Are you going to look at this now? It takes courage to grab your lantern and take a walk through the heart, and courage takes time. So yeah, this would be where, you know, I would tell you to go easy on yourself. Just the thought of wanting to take a walk and maybe look at some things is enough. It's enough for one day. It's enough. You've validated that they're still there. It's enough. There are going to be times you go for that walk feeling good and telling yourself, I'm doing it. I'm ready. I'm going to pull this out from the back of the cave, and me and whatever it is, we're going to sit down and we're going to have a long talk. I'm going to sit with this. And so you set out on your little expedition, hopefully taking your time, hopefully taking some deep breaths, hopefully stopping along the way. But inevitably, and trust me on this one, the light of your lantern gets hit with a wind out of nowhere, and the light goes out, and there you are. You're stopped in your tracks, dead stop, in the dark. And how do you respond? How do you react to this situation? What do you do? What is the plan? Are you still thinking with your heart here? Has the mind taken over? One or the other, I believe, when you're new to this situation, can lead you spiraling. Especially we are, and I always say this, if you're here with me on this channel, you are a very creative person. And our mind, when it takes that creative leap, it can be a powerhouse of ideas, or it can, you know, scare us. You know, we become very creative with the things that we don't really know much about. And we're on an expedition here. We're on a journey. We're learning. And so we have to be very careful. I think for me, in this situation, this is where I completely spiraled out of control in my life. My mind took over. And as I just said, it's not that it wasn't in a good place. Rather, it did not have a lot of good stuff to rely on, because I didn't have a lot of good stuff going into it. I didn't know. I'm learning here, and I want you to keep that with you. You're learning also. So I had no plan for how to respond, or so reacting is the only way I knew how. Again, feeding myself with all that negative talk. I'm all by myself. I've been abandoned. No one's here to help me. I have no one I can call on to help me. And the spiraling continues. And then you assess the situation, and you know, acknowledge that, yes, I am in the dark. I am alone. I am scared. I'm looking for my matches, and I'm striking each one. But here comes that wind again, and it's blowing it right out. And are you getting a picture here? Can you relate to this situation? Have you been in this situation yourself? The matches are a metaphor for the tools that I did not have. I did not have a strong spiritual practice at that time. I did not have a strong base, people that I could rely on. But the truth is, I had to learn to rely on myself first. You know, no one can take this walk for me. I don't know. Could they take the walk with me? I think if you have a strong base and you have the type of person that is not going to be judgmental, it's not going to be opinionated, is going to hold your hand through, you know, and just listen to you, yeah, I think someone can take that walk with you. You don't have to do this on your own. You could, but you don't have to. But I did do it on my own. I had a hard time asking for help, but it set me up for all the things that would come along later in my life where the situation called for me to do it on my own. And one of the things I started to do was fill my mind with all the good things. I devised a plan for when situations occurred that were out of my control but did not throw me off my center. Was each one a slam dunk? Well, no, but it was an opportunity to look at why it wasn't and learn something new. The truth, as I know it, is you do not go fearlessly into this territory without taking your time. I have learned a few shortcuts along the way through my yoga practice, which I would love to share with you on another journey. My spirit is not only an explorer, it is an efficiency expert also. It likes to look at how things are done and find another road to getting the same results, but in a more time efficient and productive manner. Time and energy do go hand in hand, and it takes that sort of deep dive to get to the root. Also, you know, at this time, I remember I did begin to, I was always a writer. I was always writing, but not consistently. It was always a journal, but not consistency. I had all these preconceptions in my head about what it was to journal. Back in my day, we called it a diary, you know. But I did begin to think of myself as a big old tree, and going through these different seasons of my life and how my roots were really holding up to all of it. So I will tell you what I learned from that situation, that, you know, being on my journey, exploring, and, you know, now being at a dead stop, you know, like I said, it takes courage, it takes time, you wanting to look at the things that maybe you're holding on to and burying. Again, just the validation that you want to look at it is a lot, and it's enough. But my mind and my heart in that situation did not fail me. You know, even though I did go on a little bit of a spiral, the mind and the heart were trying to protect me and direct me. You know, when I came to a part in my journey where the match went out, I had come to an edge in the journey. So just imagine, you know, you're on a road and, you know, you're walking and you come to an edge. You're on the edge of a cliff, you know. I'm the type of person that I'm not only time efficient and I'm metering out my energy, but I'm also a productive person and I'm eager to get where I'm going. And that's not going to work in this situation if you're anything like me. You've come to an edge, your toes are curling over the side, you know, you've almost fallen over, but the road has stopped. It's time to get out your map. It's time to, like in my case, it was a journal. And I had to sit with myself at this point and look at what this edge represented, because there's going to be many, many more edges before you or I ever reach our destination. And, you know, you caught yourself from falling over the edge. But, you know, when you start to explore, it's like, well, do I leap? You know, kind of like, I'm thinking of like my son had this like Game Boy, I think it's called, and he would have like the, like, is it Mario Brothers or whatever, where you would see them like leap over these cliffs, and yeah, they had to land on the other side. You know, maybe you didn't fall over the edge, but now that you're able to take a little bit of a look over, which is scary and takes courage, do you want to leap? Do you want to pull back? You know, neither one is the wrong answer. The edge is your sign to stop and take a pause. That's it. And if that's all you do, that's enough. You will come back to it. Stick your flag in this spot of the expedition and come back to it when you're ready. So here is a big tip for your journey and why I love journaling so much. Pay attention, because this is where you will begin to see signs. Maybe not right at the moment, they are in front of you, but there are many aha moments when you are writing down whatever, and all those whatevers come together and they form a picture that you begin to see. You begin to see all those whatevers were signs along the way, and now you are paying attention, and they form a way to go along your journey, along your map. I think that the day after I went to the show with my husband, I was still so full of emotion. And I can't even believe I'm going to use this line, but there's no other line that I can think justifies what I was feeling. I could not even feel my face. I just couldn't. I mean, so much emotion was stuck in my face, I could not feel it. All my emotions were stuck in my face and in my throat. I was still kind of angry. Like I was initially mad at John, but after writing it all out, you know, I was mad at myself. And I ended my journal writing with telling myself it's time to get out of the Book of Awakening, and it's time to read something spiritual and uplifting.
Interruption by Mr. Fufu.
And here it is, my reading from March 8th. And what I can tell you is, ask and you shall receive. And I hope that I didn't come to the section of this video. I really was just talking where I kind of froze the video because Fufi jumped on the piano. If I did and I missed it, I'm sorry. But the reading from March 8th was, let me get my book here. Did I mark it like a good girl? Nope. Oh yeah, I did. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. Did I? Welcome to my world. Responsibility by Mark Nepo. And he starts the reading with a quote. I felt angry toward my friend. I told my wrath. My wrath did not end. I felt angry toward my foe. I told him not. My wrath did grow. And that's by William Blake. Mark Nepo never fails me. I mean, I couldn't have picked a better reading out for myself to take some time to breathe into and sit with. The rest of the reading, I'm kind of looking at the video and I'm kind of looking at where I should have made a little marker. Where did I freeze this video? But I'm kind of giving you guys a heads up here. Should you see the video freeze, just be forewarned that Fufi is going to jump on the piano and just scare the bejesus out of me. Hopefully I do catch it. true inner responsibility centers on our willingness to give voice to whatever is happening to us in the midst of a relationship. This is important both for you and the person you are relating to. In my case, it was my husband. If you are not present, there is nothing to respond to. Wow. And love only becomes real in the world through our ability to respond. Bringing who you are to a relationship, being your true self, gives others the opportunity to transcend their limitations by acting on their love. It gives the other person a chance to show up. And I don't know when I read this particular day in the past. It may have been last year or years before, because I've been reading this book for years now. But I did highlight that section of the reading. Bringing who you are to a relationship, being your true self, giving others the opportunity to transcend their limitation by acting on their love. It gives the other person a chance to show up. If you remain voiceless, then I can unconsciously keep living out whatever inequity or imbalance I am involved in with you. So if we're not being our true self and we're not relating to the other person what it is that we're feeling, the other person in our life remains voiceless too. And they are, sometimes we feel as though it's deliberate, but they are unconsciously living out whatever inequity or imbalance they are involved in. But once you show your hurt or frustration or confusion or question, then I have the chance to stop my unconscious participation in the pattern of our relationship. The key to whether I will respond to you or not often has to do with love. The one thing that can break the inertia of old behavior. We can be driving along the endless summer highway, locked in some pattern that has become suffocating to you. But until you are moved by some sudden wind that shows the willow's trunk as we speed by, until you are moved to say, I can't go on like this. I can't have the chance to say, I don't want it to be like this either. Until you break your silence, I can't have the chance to say, what can we do to change all this? And this is having also what I was talking about earlier. We don't have to travel along this path by ourselves when we have people that we can rely on, people that we trust, people that we show up and be our true selves with, and really get down to the root of what is going on with us and saying, hey, I need to tell you what's going on so that you have a chance to respond. Often we spend so much time waiting for the other to catch on and see our pain, getting more and more frustrated and wounded the longer they don't. Oh. But this is the definition of a limitation, not being able to see what is obvious. So, while we dread voicing our fears and hurts to one another, love has no way of being acted on without something truthful to respond to. He just never fails me. And I believe here, I see myself grabbing my iPad. I believe that this is where my interruption from my husband happened. And I decided to jot down all the things that were wafting through my mind while I was in the middle of a meditation. I do think of my diamond painting as a meditation as a time for me to, again, objectively and calmly look at what is going on in my life. There are times when I'm thinking about this channel and the direction I want to take it in. I did name my channel Elisa Maria Designs because I do a lot of different art, and I do participate in a lot of meditative art that I thought, well, I'd be able to do tutorials on all those different types of things that I enjoy to help you. Those of you, I believe that that's where I was going with this when I was thinking about it. Those of you that don't have a meditative practice, that, you know, I do teach yoga, and there are people that can't seem to close their eyes and tune into their breath, and you know, all they think about is the thinking. You know, we're asking them, you know, let your thoughts drift by like a cloud. And they're kind of like, I just can't do this, you know. And it's usually the type A personality that's always like, go, 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 go. So I did want to also, you know, take my channel in that direction. But, you know, I've had a pause. I've hit an edge. I've had to take a pause. And I am using the time that I have to continue on with the diamond painting and foofy antics. And I believe right here coming into maybe one last color. I know that I had a really good time with this section. I know that I did some, not just using the placer, but doing some pattern work where I was picking up the drills one at a time. I just love seeing this little face come to life. Again, love the palette, love the color. And I believe I saved for last the ABs in this section. But getting back to the reading, while we dread voicing our fears and hurts to one another, love has no way of being acted on without something truthful to respond to. And so here is a little homework for you. You can do it now. You can write it down in your journal. You can follow me along in the book. Again, it was March the 8th. And the homework is to center yourself and bring to mind a fear or hurt that you are bearing quietly in a relationship that matters to you. That is your responsibility. You can do that while you're diamond painting. You can do that while you sit with your journal. Just know that, you know, you are in a space where you have some privacy and safety. So breathe fully. And in the safety of your private space, voice what you are feeling without words. Just let it surface freely in your mind and heart. Or you can do like me and feel it in your face. It seems to be where my emotions show up, and that might be something for me to explore. You know, my emotions do show up in my face and in my throat, you know, in your throat chakra, where you do voice what is going on. And if you feel stuck in that area, yeah, then I guess you do have a hard time voicing your feelings and concerns. I know I do. So breathe fully, And in the safety of your private space, voice what you are feeling without words. Just let it surface freely in your mind and your heart. There they are, hand in hand, mind and heart. Keep breathing, maybe letting your breath get a little deeper. I like to drag the breath in through my nose, kind of making like that raspy Darth Vader sound. It's very calming, that sound that we make with our breath. To breathe in through the nose and drag the breath, and then let it escape out through the nose. I called it a Darth Vader sound, but it's also to me, it has an ocean-like, wave-like sound. It is very, the nervous system recognizes that as a calming sound. And as you deepen your breath, try to get comfortable with the truth of this feeling. And then let that be enough for today. Trust that you will know if and when and how to voice this truth to the person in your life who needs the chance to hear it. So it's kind of like I said earlier, you know, sticking a flag in this little marker and this little edge that you've come to. And, you know, the next time a situation comes up, here's the plan. The plan, you have a plan now. You have a plan to take a deep breath and show up as your true self. And let that person that you're in a relationship with know what's going on. You know, I just kind of expected John to know, hey, you know, I'm over COVID and I'm having this problem with my energy, and I'm tired and I'm anxious and not feeling like myself, and I'm very emotional and weeping, crying, and I mean, I know that he sees it, but John always gives me a lot of space. He knows that I need a lot of space. You know, he's always enforced that with me, that, you know, he is a very loud and boisterous and high energy guy, but he also recognized early in me that I know that you need a lot of space. I know that you need this time in the morning to journal, to get your thoughts together. I know that you could break off on your own and you might go and sit out in the yard and turn the fireplace on. We have a little, you know, little click of a button and the fire comes up. I know that if you did not invite me to come with you, that I should just stay put where I am. I know that something is going on in your mind. I can see it come across your eyes. And that you want to work on it yourself. And so I guess with being with someone who has always given me a lot of space, that I guess I kind of thought, well, he knows, like, he knows what I'm going through. He lives with me. I'm his wife. You know, he hand-fed me through COVID, you know, little pieces of bread like a bird to get me to eat. And, you know, it was actually, like, let me see, we went to the show on Thursday, and last night we also had plans for friends. And so for me to do 2 events in 1 week is a lot. And I thought we were just going to the friend's house as a get-together, us 4. And our friend had called later and said, oh, so-and-so is coming, and so-and-so else is coming, and my nephew's going to stop over with his wife. And so it became like, again, it's like it was 3 additional couples. So it was me and John, our host and hostess, her sister and husband, her nephew and wife and child, her 2 daughters, and her 2 friends and their husbands. So it became another event, and I'm already spiraling. Like, oh my God, this is going to be, it's not just going to be a foursome, it's going to be all these people. And am I going to have the energy? And do I want to be somewhere, you know, and it's raining out, and it's steaming out, and it's cold out. And thank God I didn't know that the clocks were being pushed forward and we were going to lose an hour, because that would have been thrown on the pile. It would have been thrown on, trust me. And so I, you know, John is just like, you know, looking at me like, you know, you love all these people that we're going to be spending time with. And I'm weeping. I'm not letting him in on, I'm afraid. And I was never afraid of COVID, you know. I'm afraid of getting sick again. I'm afraid of being in crowds, and you know, so well, it wasn't until last night, you know, I did white knuckle the party. But once we got there, you know, my fears were put on the side because I was happy to see everyone. And the host and the hostess are lovely, and they put out a lovely spread for us to enjoy. It was really, really, really nice. And I know I relaxed as soon as I walked in the door. So I built myself up into this tight little bud that, you know, did manage to bloom once she got there and saw everyone and had a margarita. There goes that tequila again, that good luck charm. But I did tell him on the ride home, like, how I've been feeling, and you know, the very important date in my life that I forgot, and how did I forget this, and again, I was starting to spiral, and I'm like, what is going on with me? Like, I have a plan, like, and this is it, you know, I'm in the middle of it, but I still don't feel 100%, and I still feel like I'm teetering between 2 people, the old me and the me that I know that I can be. And it does feel out of my control. And, you know, John has always been my support system, where he is like, you know, Elisa, you know, you're zeroing in on these few things that have made you upset this week, but I see, you know, my perspective is all this other stuff that's also on your plate that you haven't even spoken about. And I'm like, yeah, you know, like, I just can't focus my energy in too many places. And it's also something that's been upsetting to me. Like, I was able to focus on multiple things, and I just can't now. And this helps. Self-Care Sunday is one of the most favorite things that I do here on this channel. I would teach yoga on a Sunday, and of course, you know, Mark Nepo was my companion through my yoga classes, and I get to do that here, and I so enjoy being able to share my experiences with you, hoping that they give you food for thought for your journey. I hope they do. I hope that you want to share them with me, either privately. I know some of you have gone to Elisa Maria Designs on Facebook. There he is. He's back on Facebook, and you've been able to contact contact me that way. And some of you have also just, you know, wrote your stories out in the comments below and shared them with this little community that we have here forming, that I just think, you know, it just makes my heart so happy that we can come together and we can share our stories, you know. It brings back so many memories for me of when I first discovered, and this was another video, when I first discovered women actually getting real with each other and saying what was really going on in their lives, how they were really truly feeling. Yes, I'm exhausted. I'm running a business with my husband. You know, yes, I'm exhausted. My husband's having an affair and I'm trying to keep myself in tip-top shape because he's having an affair with a younger woman. And I'm going back to the soap opera Knots Landing. Oh, how many of you remembered that show, and it brought back so many memories. So that was the first time I saw women really getting real with what was going on in their lives with kids and being real with each other. So I think this is the part of the video where I figured out that I had black and brown mixed in. And yes, this is the end of my talk. And it's also the end of the video. Oh gosh. And there's Mr. Foof. There he is. I'm sorry that I didn't see that freeze frame. I am waving goodbye, but I do come back with a pan over of, I was trying to tell Bixby to capture a shot for my thumbnail, and it started to videotape, and I thought, well, let me just go with it. Let's do a video here as I put my stuff away. I do a little close-up of the winter fox, the winter beauty holding her foxes. This is, I have to say too, a generous painting. And what I mean by that is the canvas, the box space for your drills is generous. You're not really crunching in drills next to each other. There is I don't know how they do it. I don't know how Diamond Art Club does it, but the drills fit perfectly in the squares, and there is room as you are diamond painting. There's room for everyone. The sun has come up, the birds are chirping. Foofy is waiting patiently. I have a little bit of my churro coffee left. Thank you. Thank you. I am so grateful to share this time with you, and I'm so grateful that you love Self-Care Sunday as much as I do. So enjoy, friends. Bye.